Liverpool as they lose by 3 goals to 2. It's interesting when you take a look at the stoppage time goals they've conceded this season, Steve. So many of them: Bournemouth, Fulham, Leeds, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, all resulting, of course, in draws or indeed defeats. Here's Arne.
To say that a few players of ours ran out of energy, and I cannot even criticize them for that, because 2 days ago we had to play an away game in Europe. We're the only team that played Champions League that has 2 days in between this time. After an away game, another away game against one of the most intense teams in the league. And I mainly, as you probably see, play the same players because of the players we have available. So then, what should not have happened is that you have to win it in the end, because that's then more difficult, and that's what you saw in the last 10 minutes. I think for the rest of the game, it was completely different. I think there we dominated the game.
Take a look at what's happened so far in 2026. Well, they were undefeated up to now, of course, but yet to register a single victory. Julien Laurent is with us, but Stevie, I want to start with you. Go on then.
God, where did you start? I mean, I guess you've got to start with the back line. You know, I mean, they ended up with only Van Dijk left of the starting back four. I don't think I've ever seen Van Dijk have a worse game in a Liverpool jersey. As I said in the highlights, he was involved in all 3 of the goals. And the only thing that Slot said that I agreed with is, yes, because of the injuries, it's the same players that are having to start. But you know what? There's a lot of other teams doing that. And at the end of the day, regardless of how many games you play, if you're composed and you know your job and you trust your teammates, when the ball's coming in the box, you deal with it. Anybody playing against Liverpool, all they need to do is put the ball in the box, because it's chaos, because nobody's in charge. The goalkeeper's not in charge, Van Dijk's not in charge, nobody trusts each other, everybody's wondering where to be. I mean, it's just chaos. And so you end up losing a goal like they did at the end, because nobody takes charge. At the same time, you've got to look at the forward line. Mo Salah was awful today. Gakpo did nothing. And Florian Wirtz must have passed the ball more to a Bournemouth player today than he did a Liverpool player. Now, when you've got so much of the ball, and you've got to look at the midfield of Liverpool and say they gave the front three as much of the ball as they possibly could have wished for.
Right.
And they did absolutely nothing with it. There was not one opportunity in this game that Liverpool created in open play where you're saying they should have scored. He should at least hit the target. Something. There was nothing. The 2 goals come from set pieces. Szoboszlai is a free kick, Van Dijk's a corner. So the only positive you can say is the middle of the park absolutely gave the front players plenty of ball, and they didn't do the job, and that's the bottom line. Whether they're tired or not, you're on the field, you're Liverpool.
Is his excuse valid that they played on Wednesday and Saturday?
His excuse doesn't excuse the mistakes that particularly Van Dijk made today.
Right.
If you're going to be called a world-class centre-back, you can't make those types of mistakes, whether you're tired or not. And if you are tired, then what you do is you do the basics well. You don't do anything fancy, you try and cut your running down to save your energy, you use your brain. Because the guy's clearly got one. We've seen it over the last 7 or 8 years. But today, he was awful. It was his worst game for Liverpool, no question.
Where are we on Arne Slot's future?
Next season, listen, he won the league last year, so you got to give him some time to figure things out. He's had a horrible injury list, yes. Now, what Liverpool are putting on the field on paper is should still be way better than what they're producing.
And that's got to be the concern, isn't it? Like,
100%.
There's no shoots. There's no, oh yeah, that's good. We just got to grow on that. And I think that would be my concern, looking at what Arne Slot has done or not done to make this team better.
The only thing that's getting better is the possession of the ball. But at the same time, you have to turn that possession into chances and goals. And at the same time, if your defence is throwing goals away, then you're kind of losing the point. So that's the only thing that's getting better. The middle of the park are controlling the ball and controlling the game more. But what's going on behind them and what's going on in front of them is not getting any better at all.
Jules, where are we on Slot's future?
I think Stevie's right. He's got until the end of the season easily. I know now that Xabi Alonso is free, there's a lot of those theories about, well, you know, if they want to get rid of Slot, they've got the replacement already here. Xabi Alonso could have come to Liverpool before Arne Slot. He decided not to. We know the story anyway. So this is a fact. This is true. But the club will give him the time. They believe in him. On today, on the excuse of the Champions League game on Wednesday night, I was there. It was a very easy win, comfortable win for Liverpool. I don't buy the tiredness, because the second half this afternoon or this evening was the best, really. And okay, maybe in the last 10 minutes they got maybe a bit tired, but in that case, you're good enough to control the last 10 minutes and not making a basketball game like it was, because they went for the goal, they went for the winner, and maybe that was the right thing to do. But then if you do, you know that you could get exposed in transition, because before that long throw in the goal and the mistake from Van Dijk again, and by the way, it's Curtis Jones blocking him, nobody else. Before that, Alex Scott has a shot on the edge of the box on his own. Christie has a shot on the edge of the box on his own. Evan Nilsson has the chance that we just saw. All three of them in transition, because Liverpool were on the other side of the pitch trying to score. That's not because they were tired, it's because they were pushing to score the first goal. Never today they were outplayed by Bournemouth. They gifted them 3 goals. There's nothing that Bournemouth did that outplayed Liverpool today. So I don't buy the tiredness. It was just mistakes again, and like Stevie said, with the ball, not enough. We said it the other day after the Marseille game. Mo Salah right now doesn't have a place in this team. He's just not good enough to warrant a place from the start, I think, in this team for me.
I think this time last year we think, oh, it's so important that Liverpool sign Salah and Van Dijk. We've got to make sure that it continues this success, and both players have had a stinker.
Yeah, and let me just focus on Van Dijk, because I think we've discussed Mohamed Salah. The only reason we haven't been discussing Mohamed Salah is because he went to the African Cup of Nations. But he's come back and he's having the same issues that he had before he went to the African Cup of Nations. In terms of Van Dijk, you can make mistakes, right? These things are going to happen. I don't care who you are and what level of player you have been over the course of your career. Mistakes are going to happen. But what bothers me, and I'm not even a Liverpool fan, what bothers me is that in that first goal, he misplays the ball, and it's the lack of attitude to, okay.
So he said it was the wind. That's what he said afterwards. That's what put
right,
him
but what does the wind have to do with him not actually going and closing the ball down?
His reaction, yeah.
And that's where I have a problem. Again, you can miskick a ball because you misread the wind, misread the flight of the ball. Okay. But then go and close the ball down. Instead, he's just like very sort of like slow. I don't really have to get there. I'm thinking, if you are the leader of this team, a guy who has physically demonstrated his dislike and disapproval of other players on the field when they make mistakes, say for example Kirkis, then you have to be the first one that has to go and close down the ball. You have to be clean yourself before you're complaining about everybody else. And so that is the part in which I have a disconnect with Virgil van Dijk. You're going to make mistakes, but react to the mistake. And it was very sort of, there's nothing to see here. It's all right, I can miskick a ball, it happens. No, then make up for it. Go and close the ball down. Force a mistake from the other player. He didn't do that, it's 1-0. And it's just, it's happening, I think it's happening regularly right now for Virgil van Dijk and this back line, but specifically for him, in which things are just happening around him and he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm too good for it. That's the sense that I get, and that's not the attitude that you want to get from a leader in a team.
That's got to be on Slot though, isn't it, to address that, Stevie?
Well, he doesn't have it. Listen, there's no question that he'll be speaking with Van Dijk, but the best way to address a player who's out of form is having competition and sitting them down.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate that kicks everybody up the backside. When you don't perform, you don't play in the team, somebody else comes in. He doesn't have that choice.
Jules, will they get a centre-back in January?
Definitely. I mean, it was the plan at the start of the window, and now we are, January 24th. There's only a week to go, a bit more than a week to go. And there's no centre-backs have arrived. Or maybe, if you're not fixated on a centre-back, maybe a defender that can play a bit everywhere, like a Joe Gomez, but better. And we haven't seen anybody coming yet, so that's a bit of a worry, because the later you leave it, the harder surely it's going to get someone under your conditions. So Gehi, there's no need to go back on that. He signed for City. I think that train was there for them in the summer. They let it go. It's okay. But surely there are enough centre-backs or defenders when you're a Liverpool Football Club that you can go and get in January. And I'm not talking about getting the best in the world, because that's never going to happen in January. But at least getting somebody that can help your back line to make it a bit more steady, to be just a backup when Konate will be back. And we send the condolences to all the Konate family, obviously, in a very tough week for them. But when he's be back, somebody would be happy to be on the bench, happy to help, and can play in different positions, or that would just help the squad, because right now it's Endo playing at the back, and I don't think he did nothing too wrong or nothing too right today either. He's just there, he's just a body, right? And that's not good enough, really, going forward.